Taking a look around the shop here at Coin Guy, kind of looking around, seeing what we got here. Got some interesting stuff, hopefully so. Look at this man. He makes it on the covers of magazines too. Man, pretty cool.
Senior voice.
Senior voice. Speaking of the man himself, he's right over here. How's it going, Guy?
Doing great, doing great. I want to thank everybody who watched my first video, first 30-minute, 20-minute video. Over 11,000 views in like 30 hours. That's pretty good. So like I said before, we want to do a little catch up on topics that people not going to be able to see for a while, I guess. But we're going to create a new library of information for people. So we're going to do 2 this week, 2 next week, and then you're going to see us from Fun live, because we're going to be there Thursday, Friday, and Saturday, and we'll probably film each day live and tell you how the goings on. Today has been a very busy day. We probably did 15, 18 transactions. A lot of silver coming in, silver going out. People traded in. I think every gold buy I had today for coin, I traded in silver and cash. I mean, people are buying silver, they're trading in gold for silver. They see the ratios coming down. I just did a quick tally. Gold at 33.30, silver at 36.61. I remember last month, 102 to 1. Now the ratio is 90 to 1. 90 to 1. That's pretty good. I mean, silver rounds, silver eagles. I got a kilo that came in. The kilo was gone in 20 minutes. I mean, I traded it toward a 1 ounce certified buffalo. You know, I'm hesitant about buying a lot of gold, but we picked this up today. This came in today. This came in today.
Look at that. 2024, look at that.
There you go. Here's what came in today in gold. What went out in gold? Nothing.
Nothing went out in gold, huh?
Didn't sell any gold today. That's pretty much been stored.
MS 70.
Yes.
Look at that. Pretty cool.
That's the gold that came in. I paid for most. Over half of this I paid fully in silver. And this just about all in silver, and half of this in silver. I just moved silver that I came in today. We bought quite a bit of silver. So it's been a busy day like that. We've gotten a lot of requests, a lot of topics. We're going to hit a couple a week. I said like for this week, next week. I wanted to touch on this. And hand in hand with this, I've had many people say I'm putting away silver for my grandchildren. Okay? Well, if your grandchildren are 2 years old or just born or even 5 years old, and they're not going to touch it for 15 years, I'm not a guru or a crystal ball person, but there's a very good chance I think silver can be in the 40s this year the way it's going. And in 15 years, it could be $70 an ounce. And when you start hitting, history teaches us in 1980, when silver started to approach $45, they started to weigh everything. They weighed the dimes first, then the quarters, and the halves not so much, but especially dimes, but it goes right through. And you better believe if silver is ever $80 an ounce, they're going to weigh everything. And the reason for that is, here's just an experiment. This is barber dimes. Now, barber dimes wore out pretty much, is it on grams?
Uh-huh.
Barber dimes wore out pretty much the same way Mercury dimes.
So first off, how many dimes are there?
There are 30 dimes here.
Okay, so 30 dimes weigh 70 grams.
70 grams.
Of barber stuff. So let's just kind of give an idea.
I had 66.
I'll double check that. Now it's gone down. So apparently the scale's a little off.
The fan blowing on it. This is
on.
very sensitive. It'll pick it up. I got 66 grams on 30 pieces of barber coining.
That's
okay. So if you had a couple of more circular, it would run the same with mercury dimes. The point I'm making, and I've done this before when I showed standing quarters. Now here you have proof dimes. Proof dimes are uncirculated, will weigh the same amount, it doesn't matter. This is, believe it or not, this 30 is the same as that 30. And you've got a number like 78 or 79 grams. Yeah, so you're looking at 12%. Yeah, the fan is throwing it off. There's about a 10 or 12% difference. So if you're going to put away something, I just sold a $10 roll of unks. You know, if you're going to put away something for grandchildren for the next 20 years or 15 years, all of my personal silver is either proof or uncirculated. Now, I used to sell uncirculated rolls of 90% for $2.70 a roll. Now, regular 90% is almost $2.70 a roll. So now I'm at $2.90 a roll for proof silver. That's for dimes. Halves are $300 a roll. I mean, dimes are even more because proof dimes, you can sell individual proof dimes at $5 a piece. That's $250 a roll. But if you get a chance, you know, when you're getting just basic, buy unk or proof if you're looking for the long haul. You never got to worry about the weight because it happened in 1980, happened again in 2011, which was not that long ago. 2011, you saw the same thing because they started weighing everything. Just some food for thought, especially if you want to buy in quantity. If you're looking to buy 500, it's going to cost you more. I can't deny that. But if you're looking for the long haul, there you go. For everyday people, then just buy. I'm not saying don't buy 90%, but just know that if silver starts pushing 50, they're going to weigh everything. Just something to think about. But that's been today. You know, today has just been that kind of a day with that. I had another person, because I talked about the demise of the penny, and they said, well, whether obsolete coins have come and gone. And it's been the history of the country that when things don't work or they're too confusing, here you have 2-cent pieces, 1864, 1872. 72s are expensive. You're looking at a coin that was only made in proof. 73, only made in proof. 72 is very expensive too. 3-cent nickels. They made 3-cent silver dimes. I just don't have one right now. Here you have half dimes. Half a dime. What we know, this is the ancestor of the nickel. They used to make half dimes. And they made half dimes since, 1793, 1794, right up until 89.
Try to get a little better on that. There we go.
And here, of course, is half pennies. U.S. half pennies. Now you're thinking, well, what did a half a penny buy? A half a penny probably bought you a mug of beer in 1803. You got to remember, you get some countries, and I've talked about it before. In England, they made what's called a farthing. They made a farthing, which is a quarter penny. We made nothing smaller than a half penny. They made a farthing, which is a quarter penny. Then they made a third of a farthing. They had a tiny little coin that basically was a 1/12 of a penny. I don't know what that got you. Probably like a widow mite of the time of the Bibles, but you're looking at a 1/12 of a penny. That was the 1/3 farthing. So it absolutely bought things. As I said, you can't look in today's price where a devil dog is almost costing 80 cents a piece. I don't want to bring that up. It's just that kind of incredible. It's just, as time goes on, inflation, and when things just don't have a use anymore, they get set aside. Penny's time is come and gone, and we're going to go forward. I just want to give a shout out to my son and my grandson who just completed their courses in Colorado Springs for coin grading. Jack ended #1 in his class. #1 in his class. The instructor's there, so he's got a real eye for it. You'll see us at the fun show, and Jack will be there at his table with his dad, with Brian. The Vulcan Company will be right next door, so if you want to see us, there'll be 3 generations of coin people. Now Jack thinks he's going to walk the floor and start buying and doing coins. We'll see. We'll see what kind of money his father gives him to play with. But Jack's 14, and he's aspiring coin dealer. The next generation to bring it into the 21st century, I guess. As I said, we're going to run after the next couple of weeks. I want to do it routinely on Thursdays. We're going to have every Thursday we'll have a coin chat, and we'll run a video every Thursday covering topics that people request and just need to be talked about. And then Nate had brought up that maybe every 2 or 3 weeks we'll take time to give you a rundown of our inventory as far as key dates and things of that nature. A couple of people asked about that. We have plenty of Carson Cities, as you've seen. We had a few phone calls today. We sold a bunch of stuff today from the video that we put out. It is storming outside. Wow. I can't see the street right now. Welcome to Florida. When you get rain here, this is what they call tropical rain, I guess. What else is there?
So let's kind of loop back on something you were talking about earlier. We talked about Jack going to it and getting into the coins. Being a new guy, let's say Jack's got $100 to play with, and he's going to go buy some coins, versus someone like yourself who's been in the industry for a long time and you have $100. What would you think would be great for him to start investing in coin-wise versus someone like yourself investment? Let's go 100, let's go 500, and then let's go 1,000 kind of idea.
Well, if you got $1,000 to spend, you buy key dates. Traditionally, key date stuff has always gone up. The key dates to every collection. I don't think you can buy a 1916D in good anymore for 1,000. That's a coin that has outpaced all the other keys. It just has held its own and still keeps going forward. You got $100, buy silver. Buy silver. I mean, I got silver today that I sold people at 18 times face or 15 times face, and they got quite a bit more than that. I mean, they did very well, and they used it in trade. I bought a gold piece today for 800 that I sold a person for 5. I mean, they held it for what? Not that long, maybe 18 months. You know, gold was 2,030 at the beginning of 2024. And now we're looking at 3,330. Wow, $1,300 in, what, 18 months, 17 months. That's a pretty good rate of exchange, of interest. Silver, I still see keep going forward. I think silver for 100, a key date for 1,000. And I wouldn't discount platinum. Platinum is starting to show some legs. I see it moving. When platinum comes in, I basically hold it. Platinum's about $1,240 as we speak. 6 weeks ago, it was barely 1,000. I mean, it's up 25% in less than 2 months. That's a pretty good move. That's, you know, for young people, I think that's a good investment.
And what about mediocre, 500?
500 in the same areas. Basically a combination of both. They always tell you to buy, you know, like Jack is learning, you got to learn how to grade coins, and you've got to learn to hunt. There are people who spend, and I did it myself, you know, 25, 30 years ago, I would go to coin shows and just walk the floor, and I'm looking for those mistakes. More than once, I've bought a coin at Rubenstein's who I thought was too conservative, and I took it to the 110 show, and I flipped it and made 20% on that coin. It at that time might have been $40, $50, which was a lot of money to me. That was 1980. I remember doing that. That was a lot of money. That was a lot of money. It probably was 25% of what I made that week cooking. But you gotta do your studying. You gotta learn your coins, and this is what, from what I understand, Jack and Brian were learning luster and what the big boys think about and look about when they're looking to buy and sell. You know, that's just how I feel. That's how you should invest your money with that. I think that's the way to go with that. We sold a bunch today. As I showed before, we sold a couple of these sets. Somebody bought one of these. They bought that 5-piece set. They bought the 2-piece 2013 set. They look good like that. They sold. We sold a couple of big bills today. People are buying. There is money out there. There's those with discretionary money can afford it. Sold a couple of red books today, actually.
Sorry for the glare. For those currency people. And we'll do a video more on some other currency we have and show you off some other stuff we have.
Let me show you some of the foreign. People were asking about foreign coins.
Let's show some foreign. We don't give enough love to the foreign coins.
Well, I've got some certified stuff. You know, foreign coins are hard to sell. As I said, Canadian are pretty tough. But we've got stuff that's just old. I got a whole tray of certified foreign.
So we're looking at
A lot of British. But I got all countries. Russian, I got Finland, Sweden. I got all different countries here.
a good amount of Canada.
Can't read them all upside down, but
Once again, we do have Canadian silver if anyone's interested in that as well.
got these. These just came in. I got a couple of Philippine coins.
Oh, let me show those. People love the Philippines.
Yeah, some of those go good.
Just a quick overview. Try not to go too fast. I heard from last time. I'm trying to get better at it.
Yeah, he's learning.
So we got. Oh, sorry. Put the wrong one with that one. Let me tilt a little bit.
This toy he's got. This is like a Robbie the Robot kind of thing.
There's a Philippine coin for anybody that's interested in some Philippines. We got 2 of them here. And it brings a price on them too. You can't beat that price. 35, 45. It's a good
Well,
price.
you've got silver in them. I'm surprised this is still here. I just think that that's incredible colors. This is a silver coin. Somebody was getting clearance to buy this and they never called back. Look at this. This is a PQ. I don't think this is artificial.
Most some people know the South. Look at that.
1754. Here's one of the farthings. Here's an Unk 64. Here's a halfpenny, 1880. That's red brown. It's another farthing, 1866. Definitely brown. I don't know, I just showed the side with the date. That's just me. Plenty of early British. Here's cool Switzerland.
Does that look familiar to an American coin? Just saying. Comment below if you got an idea of what we think it looks like.
Now, they don't always have to be made of silver and gold. These prices we get off of what they sell for in auctions and stuff. Here's 1924 Denmark. Here's a silver coin in low grade. Denmark once again. $175.
Oh.
This is a pretty coin. Russia. The Romanovs. We know what happened to them 4 years later. So these numbers will run anywhere and all over the place. I mean, I've discounted some of the numbers. I'm trying to meet your headway. I have room on these. There's probably, you know, I don't know, there's $5,000 here in foreign coins. I'm negotiable, to say the least. And but I do have them. Then we've got pages on the other side of foreign coins. You've got some big ones here. Bulgaria, the German commemorative ones. Here's a pretty famous one. This is the British big penny, 1797. That's got beautiful luster.
Then we have some other ones down here, I believe, in
Yeah,
sheets.
these are whole books.
Yeah, we have some whole books of some other ones. Sweden,
Here's a bunch I got.
France.
Here's Canada. I know we don't get a whole lot of love in there, but there's a whole bunch of Canadian large pennies, higher grade ones. Yep. And then, of course, the usual suspects. But this is an article I had did. It's supposed to be 1,300 pages.
Words.
1,300 words. Pages. And we're highlighting the gold bar. I haven't had a chance to reread this. God, I'm looking old there. I don't know whose picture that was. Here's more of me inside. That's pretty cool. I'm bringing copies of these. Not that I asked for an extra 150 copies to take to fun. I don't want to mention that, but I did. And we'll have these with us if you want to pick up one. They'll be on the table free for contribution of $10. And no, they'll be there free. And this is the first I'm looking at this. I haven't looked at this yet. Here's another one of me. Wow, I'm all over this.
Ad right there.
Here's my ad. But yeah, I got quite a bit of an article on this. I got to bring one of these home for Susan to show her. Look, I'm into paper.
I know at one point, guy, we're gonna do a video of what's on the wall. 'Cause a lot of people ask about that stuff too. What is
I had a guy come in. We had a guy come in last week, and there's blanks on the wall. He bought all the display ones. He must have bought 6 of them, of all the type coins. And he just walked around, buy it, I'll take that, I'll take this. It's wonderful. Come back. Come back. It was pretty good. As I said, we will be coming to talk to you. You know, give you suggestions. As I said, we're trying to cover a few topics each time. We'll consolidate it more in the future. As I said, I want to do one every Thursday. We will be at Fun, and we'll talk to you all there. You know, there's been all kinds of comments as far as the two of us going our own way, but it'll work out, I guess. It's what he wants, and that's okay. And we'll persevere. Just so you know, our understanding was a handshake, the old-fashioned way. Almost 6 years ago, we shook hands, and I make whatever I make selling coins, and he got whatever he gets running the videos. I don't get any cut of his advertising or any of that stuff. I was wondering why he pulled up in a Bentley last week or last month, but I don't want to talk about that. No. So there's people were saying, oh, guys looking to get too big a cut. There's no cut. It was a handshake. an honorable understanding, and now, like anything else, it just moves on. And I wish him all the luck in the world. And that's about, I think that's almost a wrap. Everybody have, I think we'll see you before we'll talk again before the 4th of July. That's next Friday. But we'll probably do 2 videos next week. Everybody have a great night. God bless America, greatest country in the world. Thank you. Keep watching us.